I used to think that journaling meant just to write about everything that happens in your day. Like, dear diary, today I woke up, I had this to eat, today was this, and then I went to sleep. And honestly, that got so boring for me. And that version of journaling never changed my life. Things started to shift when I realized different parts of your life needs different journals. Things like your thoughts, your dreams, your life, so on. Because when you put everything into one journal, it doesn't create clarity, it creates chaos. Once I started to separate them, it got so much easier and it was a lot more organized, and I could see which parts of my life needed more attention or I'm doing fine. So in this video, I'm not just telling you what kind of journals you can have. I'm showing you how each journal can literally transform your life. I'm showing you how much one can change or transform different parts of your life completely. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Richa. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel if you're looking for more videos like this that will change your life or make you become the best version of yourself. Think of journaling like you're building a system for your life. Instead of carrying everything in your head, you can create a space to think, a space to plan, a space to heal, and a space to grow. There's so many journals out there that you can start that can best fit your life. It really is about what kind of things you want to concentrate on. Some of the examples that you can have for journaling is like a goal journal, a reading journal, a meditation journal, a garden journal, or a hobby journal. There are endless options. But today we're diving into 6 types of journals that has been so effective in my life, and I think that it might be effective for you guys. So I wanted to share those with you. So the 6 journals that I'm going to be talking about in this video is your daily journal, your planning journal, so your planner, dream tracker, which is one of my favorite things, reflection and awareness, a self-care journal, and documenting your life experience. I will give you real examples so you know exactly what you can write or at least start off with. Chapter 1, materials. Before we even get into the whole, sorry, we have trucks that are going by, so you're gonna hear a lot of noise. I'm so sorry about that. But like I was saying, before we even get into the video about the types of journal, let's talk about some of the materials you need. Now, there are many materials out there. If you've seen on Pinterest or Instagram and things like that, people go all creative. I am one of them. I love creating a very fun, you know, looking back at it gives me joy kind of thing with stickers, washi tape, and so on. So you can definitely go with that. But to really just start off with, you just need 3 simple things. One is a notebook, one is a pen, and your phone. And the reason why I said your phone is I'm that kind of person. I like to make notes on my phone. My favorite and one of my most used apps is the Notes app that you can find in your phone. I jot down everything on there. Anything that happens during the day or about my dream and things, I quickly write it down on my Notes app for me to put it back into my journal. Why I say you should use your phone is that not everybody has time in the morning to journal. I work early in the morning and I barely have time to sit down and write my journal. So I make quick notes for your phone. If you're the type of person who can wake up really early, has the time, which you should be, you know, you should, I mean, that's a bad habit of mine. I don't wake up early enough for me to sit down and reflect. But if you're one of those people that do, go for it. You should actually journal in the morning. But yeah, then you probably don't need your phone. But a notebook, a pen, and your phone, these are low-cost things that will get you started. You're already set with these 3 things. And like I said about going fancy with the stickers and everything, some of the things that you can get is a good quality notebook. You can get colored pens, colored pencils, stickers, washi tapes, and so on. And believe me, I've been in this world, and journaling has its own world. When I discovered it, and if you've heard me in the previous videos, one of my thing is I love stationery. I love these kind of things. So when I first started out in this world, I mean, the options were endless, and you can get carried away, which I did personally. I have so many stickers and so many things, which I'm trying to use up a lot this year, but the world is endless. You can find from A to Z everything. Now let's talk about two types of journals I really like. Now, one is a dotted journal and one is your regular line journal. Dotted journal, I feel like gives me more room if I want to draw things, or you know, want to put in some illustrations, stickers and everything. It gives me a nice guide for me to do that. But the more basic notebook is a regular lined journal, which is perfectly fine. Chapter 2, your daily journal. This is going to be your mental reset. Let's start with the most important journal that you can have, which is your daily journal. This is literally where you release everything. Whether you realize it or not, your brain is constantly thinking, replaying moments, and getting new ideas. And when you don't let those thoughts out, they stay trapped. So just remember, your mind is not to hold on to things. It's supposed to let go and process the things. And this is what this journal does. An example of this is, let's say you had a bad day, and if you don't journal, you replay it all day, you get frustrated, and you start creating stories in your head. But if you write it out, you'll realize what actually happened, how you felt, and what you can learn from it. And this is exactly what the process and let go method is. And the basic formula for this is, you processed it, you wrote it down, so you let it go. That's as simple of a formula it is. So now when it comes to some of the things that you can just start off with are, what drained your energy today? What gave me more energy today? How did today make me feel? And is there anything else on my mind? An advanced method you can try is a stream of consciousness writing, which basically is you continuously write whatever is in your head, continuously write that for 5 minutes without any consideration for grammar, punctuation, comma, and so on. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just let your thoughts out. This method really helps me a lot. Sometimes when I have too much going on in my mind, I just want to release it, and I just sit down, write everything down as it comes, 5 minutes. And honestly, it helps me so much because I'm just literally processing it, I'm letting it go. And I actually do feel a lot better. So if you haven't tried this process, you should really try, because it does really help. And in this style of writing, the most honest thoughts comes out. I have tried it and I look back and I'm like, dang, like that was a lot that came out, but it was good for me to process it. And just a quick tip, if you're not a notebook writer, don't you worry. You can write it on your laptop, your iPad, whatever device that you prefer to. If you're that digital person, just write it on anything that you can. You can even write on your notes app that I just said, you know, earlier. Write on your laptop. It just something that will help you release your thoughts. Chapter number 2 is your daily planner. One of my most used and favorite journal to capture my daily things. So this is the journal I like to see as, this is where your future builds, because most people don't fail because they lack ambition, they lack structure. I touched on this on my last video, which was about productivity, where I go on about this, and it's a very useful video. I give so many tips on that one, and honestly, when I recorded that video and I uploaded it, was one of my favorite ones that I did, because that video has so much information that can be so useful. So for this journal, I do use a bullet journal, which is just a dot journal. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I like to make this one fancy. I love designing my journal. And how I use this is I use this as my daily planner. Now, I've used daily planners before that were pre-printed, like the Happy Planner and things like that, but like it just didn't fit my needs, and I was always like, it's not doing, a lot of the pages were blank, it didn't really fit, didn't have enough space or anything. So that's when I went into bullet journaling. I have been bullet journaling for on and off. I have been doing it for 4 years consistently. I've been doing it since last year. I just had, you know, your daily life gets a little busy and so on, but consistently I've done it since last year. And in that, I did a lot of experiments to see what works for me, what doesn't work for me. So one month I'll try something, the other month, if it didn't work, I won't include it in the next month's spread, and so on. So it's very experimental, and really you get to see what pages, what spreads are the most functional for you to include in your daily journal. So yeah, I keep saying daily journal, but it's actually daily planner, so I'm sorry about that. But let me show you how my planner looks like from when I did it. I'm going to show you the one from October because it's one of my favorite spreads that I did last year. I really like it. They were all hand drawn, and I got to color it in and things, and I really felt like that was my most creative one. So let me show you right now how it looks. Some things that you should be very mindful of is don't put things in there that you're not gonna use. It's just create more blank pages, and you're just gonna feel like you didn't really finish it. When you're looking back, it feels empty. And I'm the kind of person, I don't like things to be empty. I want them to filled out. So only use the things that you really do need. When you start off, just remember to start off with a few things and then build on it. If you're gonna do everything in the beginning, it's gonna really overwhelm you, and you might not even be that motivated to finish them all. If you're starting from scratch, don't overbuy your supplies. I did that mistake where I went all rogue when I went to buy all my supplies. Most of them I don't even use it. That's why this year I have to use them up, because they've been lying there for the longest time, and I wish I didn't do that. So I will give you that tip, that don't overbuy your supplies. Buy it as you need it. Another thing that I do want to say, and that happened to me in the beginning, the reason why I was on and off for 4 years, was don't get overwhelmed. You will see a lot of things on YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest even, where people have beautiful spreads and they're hand drawn or things like that. But don't get overwhelmed. Don't think that your journal or planner has to look that way. So just be mindful of that. Do your best. You can, nowadays we have so many stickers that give you the perfect scene that you probably want to create. Use stickers, but don't get overwhelmed with the drawing and everything. Lastly, don't forget the purpose of your planner. Your planner should be focusing on clarity over quantity and consistency over perfection. Your planner is not there to control your life. It's supposed to support your life, so just keep in mind. Chapter 3, your dream journal. This, I said in the beginning, it is one of my favorite journals to have. I don't know, I can understand that a lot of people won't remember their dreams when they wake up. Sometimes I do remember them very vividly, and sometimes I don't remember it. But those ones that I do remember vividly, that's when my notes app comes in, where I jot down everything that happened in that dream. I give myself about 5-7 minutes to jot everything down, as much as I can remember. And I think it's one of the coolest things to have a journal about, because you really see how your dream played out, why you're dreaming about that. Is that something that you saw, you know, the night before happening around you or things, and that's why it came in your dream. So like I always say, your dreams are not random, and that is your mind processing things that happened during the day or a couple of months ago, whatever, and you might not fully understand it. And that has happened to me. I think it's so cool that your subconscious communicates with you with symbols, emotions, and patterns, which is one of the reasons why I really enjoy writing this journal. So let me tell you how to exactly journal. The most efficient and the proper way of doing this. It's that right as you wake up, don't check anything on your phone, don't move too much, and write immediately. Write what happened, and write down the emotions and the symbols that you saw. So I'm the kind of person, I write down on my phone, on the notes app, so you know, that's why I said don't look at any other things on your phone, but look at that. And if you have discipline to do that, it's gonna work out really well. If you don't have the discipline, then write it down on a paper. That's what I would suggest, because otherwise you will get distracted. But write it down. It is so cool. What usually happens with this is that you start seeing some symbols, you start seeing some recurring people, and you see emotional cycles, which is very like, I'm the kind of person I like psychology and things. So I think it's very interesting. This might not even be the journal for you, but this is an idea, you know, and something that I do. Chapter number 4, reflection, self-awareness, and growth. That's one journal. This is your growth journal. It's not about what happened, it's about more like who you're becoming. Most people go through life reacting. Very few go through life where they're reflecting. Reflection is something that creates growth. And some of the things that you can include in this journal is your goals. That could be monthly or weekly goals. Something that you can write down is probably like end of the week or something. What are the steps that you're gonna take to reach that goal you have set? What are some of the challenges that you might face trying to achieve your goal? Some of the things that you can write about is what are some of the things that you tried to get to your goal. You can write what would I do differently and what is the solution. These questions are very insightful, so if you want you can write them down to maybe if you want to make a journal out of this, you have some prompts that you can go by. Most of the time when I'm answering these questions, I'm talking to myself and I am able to come up with a solution. That's just how my brain works. And it's been very helpful for me. So we all have goals, whether they're big, small, or whatever. But having a place to really see and go ahead and reflect on that, you really get to see the process and the progress. So I do really recommend that you have a journal like this where you can record things like that and do your weekly checks, do your monthly checks just to keep up with that. If you're somebody who has a vision board, this is a good pairing to have with this journal to really reflect on the goals that you are trying to achieve this year or any year. Chapter 5 is your self-journal notebook. That is to build your self-love. This journal is deeply personal because a lot of times a lot of people don't know how to take care of themselves. They usually just distract themselves. Now in this there are 2 types of journals that you can create. One is just a journal that will show you the the ways that you can relax. The other journal, the second type of journal, is ways to go deep to touch your emotional side, your mental side, and your body side. The version that I'm going to be talking about today is more like the fun habit trackers, meditations, like your meditation rituals, calming hobbies, and so on. You can combine these 2 things, so having the relaxing and the reflection journal in one, just to keep it simple, or you can have 2 separate ones. So my journal that I'm going to be talking about is the ways to relax, and this one you can treat it as your idea journal, if you say. This is where I write down things that I can give myself a relaxing day, so I can have a whole ritual plan. Like on this day when I'm feeling like down, this is a whole ritual that works for me. Or when I'm feeling happy or I just want to relax, I have all these rituals that are proven and worked, and I put that in my self-journal book. And it's just like something that I can grab. It's like, hey, my mood is this, let me go on this chapter, let me see what it is, let me try this out, does it work? So it's more like that. This is also where you can keep your tracker, your habit tracker, if you're not planning to do a planner or you don't include it in your daily planner. You can include some water track, how much water you're taking, your sleep, your movement, and screen time. These are just the basic things. It really depends on what you want to work on, so you can decide for yourself what you want to include, but these are some of the ideas you can include. Chapter number 6, the last one, and that is my travel journal. I'm actually working on my travel journal, and I'm having that video come in, I think it's end of June. That video is coming out on Sunday, so I will write down what the date is down here, but that's when that video is coming. And this is one of my favorite type of journals, one of my favorite types, and I'm so excited. Now this one is quite niche, but I wanted to include this one because summertime is coming and a lot of people go on vacation at this time. Now naturally I'm an adventurous person and I love traveling, so this is very fitting for me. Now however, this is where your life becomes a story. So now how I like to travel journal is basically from packing list to the whole part of journaling. Now I just want you to remember that everybody has their own style. I am a very creative person, so I like to be more creative, but you can just write it, you know, just have a journal entry and include some pictures if you would like. But the way I like to journal is, so some of the things that I like to include is a packing list, an itinerary, places I want to visit. So what I do is I take mini pictures, print it on a sticker paper, and print out the pictures, put it like in my journal, so I know how they look like, what the address and everything is, and a little bit about a backstory for those places. I do include a budget. When you're traveling, things can get expensive, so having a set budget is very, very important, at least for me. Another thing that you can include is places to stay. So if you're staying in a hotel, Airbnb, for each city or each country that you go to, you know exactly where you're going to stay. You can also include things to buy before and during the trip. You can also include how the weather is going to be. You can get a general idea of how the weather is going to be, the average temperature. I looked into it for my travel plans and kind of got an average of what the you know, the temperature is going to be, so it's a lot easier for me to pack. Definitely I'm going to include restaurants to try. That is one of the things I think is very important because I got to feed my stomach. Now if you're going to a foreign speaking country where English is not a commonplace, you can have a vocabulary page where you just write down some local phrases that you can use to get around. I think that's a very helpful page to include. And another thing that you can include is a facts page, which is basically a fact about the place that you're going to go and see. Maybe to write down a little bit of history or something if you're into that you can include. The options are endless. You can literally create your own journal the way you want it. And again, like I said, whatever fits your needs is what you should really journal about. And there you have it. Those are the 6 journals that I really like, and that is part of my life right now. If you like any of them, let me know which one you like so I know. But I'm so excited. You can follow me on my Instagram. I'm gonna have it up here. Follow me on my Instagram. Share with me if you try to journal or if you're gonna go the fancy route or the simple route. Both of them are perfectly fine. I just want you guys to remember that you don't have to be perfect in journaling, which is a theme that I've been talking about throughout this whole video. You don't need aesthetic pages. You don't need to write every day. You just need to start. Don't get overwhelmed. Just start. And I gave you the tools that you need to just start. If you guys like this video, please subscribe. If you want to be notified when I upload a new video, you go ahead and click on the bell icon. Other than that, I have nothing else to say, so I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!